Ion, go ahead. That's Jay.
Um,
Let's get started on a few of these questions, my brother.
Hey, yeah, I want to thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I'm definitely one of the biggest gay reporters on this app. Everything that you do, I'm definitely making sure that I'm reporting it, and I really appreciate that you being here right now today. I'm super excited. So, I got a question for you. So the first question I definitely want to ask is, I see that you're running,
I don't know where you.
what's happening?
I don't know where you go.
Okay, you heard it go out then. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Where Ion go? All right. Well, hold on. Let me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go. Where'd you go?
Yeah, I didn't go anywhere. I'm still here. I
All
don't
right.
know why that was weird. But when you become president, what would be some of the executive orders that you'll implement effective immediately?
I think we start by ending the most favored nation with China because of the coronavirus and fentanyl. China is shipping fentanyl into the U.S. That's one of our biggest crises, and that's a part of China's takeover of the U.S., hitting us every way possible. See, I know people point towards China all the time. They lost the Industrial Revolution, and they actually have books about how they have 100-year plan to become the new world order, and that's the ability to print the money. That means that we will follow China, that they will be the most influential nation. Right now, America is the most influential nation, but you have companies like Comcast that run everything, and they use the Jews, they use celebrities, they use Disney, Hulu, they use magazines, they use all of that to control a lot of the messaging, to push us, to excite us, to get us just talking back and forth. Meanwhile, all of our industries have been completely shattered, and the places where we used to have steel factories throughout middle America have now gone away, and we have opioid crises instead. So we're going to start right there. Defund all federally funded abortions. More black people are aborted than born at this point in New York City. That's 2022. Also, the number one cause of death for black people is abortion by far, over anything you could think of, over any type of crime, heart disease, drugs, police, all of these things. Suspend all foreign aid. We have to focus on our country. We are the inventors. We invented, Ford, Apple, Disney, McDonald's, just America. America is the youngest startup in history. So, when I hear the inventors, the amazing minds coming out of these colleges, the people who know how to create energy from tires, alternative energy sources, like Tesla said, the earth is a giant generator. And then Commonwealth Edison basically started electrocuting animals in the street. And then Tesla died without a penny trying to sell a nuclear bomb. But the information that he had would have freed us all. So I always say, like, what if Tesla, had an Instagram? How much more free would our people be right now? Then you got the original BLM. It's not Black Lives Matter. It's Bureau of Land Development. I know about that because I got over 13,000 acres in America. I got 300 acres in Calabasas. I got property in Malibu. I've got over 12,000 acres in Wyoming, multiple properties, and it is very difficult to build. So that forces us into TikTok, into Second Life, into an alternative version of the real world. And the real world is the real video game. That's on earth. It shall be on earth as it is in heaven, like we pray. But if we've got the Bureau of Land Development blocking developers, and that's not even me, it's like a celebrity, coming from music, attempting to build homeless shelters and cities of the future. I'm talking about straight up good old boys like Catholics, that can't even build in America right now. So those are some of the main ones.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Definitely, America first. I really appreciate that. Now, this is definitely going to be a really spicy question. I want to know, what was your intention when you signed the document to meet with Putin to free Brittney Griner?
My intention, once again, yeah. My position is that America should seek peace with all of our adversaries and free all American prisoners held abroad. I had no interaction with the Russian government. I didn't accept any favors, no money, or any compensation. I signed the document for public distribution and plan to consult the State Department before the meeting.
And for the record, Ion, I was the one that walked that to Ye. There was never a direct to Ye. I was the one contacted, had the conversation with him, and then forwarded the conversation to the people that was representing him on his side. So everything, even the logistics and the wording of the contract, was done by me, and I forwarded over to him. So there was never any direct, even to date, right? It was Russia to Wack, Wack to Ye back to me, and me back to him. So that's the pecking order, and all that's documented for the record.
Wow, that's super dope. Thank you so much. So Brittney Griner was sentenced to 8 years in Russia, per penal colony. What was your position on America's prisons, and how can they improve?
Well, they start building prisons off of third grade reading scores. Like, let's soak that in for a moment, meaning that everything is designed around our education system. And when someone has a low reading score, they automatically say in third grade, this person is going to prison. Imagine that teacher parent meeting right there. People were just that literal. You go in and your son or daughter got a low score, and they said, well, Miss Jackson, your daughter's going to prison. You're like, she in third grade. But that's the reality of the development of that, let's say, Kyrie documentary Slave Boat. Let's use different kind of words, right? So, we don't get deplatformed, right? Of how that slave boat has never ended, and the prison system is another version of that. And then we talk about rehabilitation, but how is it rehabilitation if we weren't provided the abilities in the first place? So let's say habilitation through information. The information is purposely held from us. The literacy, they'll have you reading Moby Dick, but won't teach you how to read and understand a contract, knowing damn well you headed to the NBA or that you're going to be in entertainment in some way. So that makes it where you never have, if you can't have a grasp of actually what you're signing, you won't be in control of your life. So these become other versions of prisons. So the prison system isn't just actually where Larry Hoover is placed. It's also the bank is a prison system because they got my money locked up as we speak. They literally put a freeze on my account. They put a $75 million hold on 4 different accounts. And the funny thing was, I was complaining about my service. I was like, I put 140 million into Chase. Let me go to Chase. This is, one of the 2 biggest banks in America. And I had met with Jamie Dimon before when I was a good little celebrity, early on into my Adidas deal. But second, I start banging on the desk like, I want to see some deal flow. I don't want my money just to sit here. I want my money to make money. This is enough money for me and my family to never have to work again. And I have enough to work on homeless shelters and regenerative in alternative energy and education and all the other things and water purification, all other things I want to work on. And they had people on the phone that were so rude, that were talking to me so crazy. They was talking to me like I'm sitting in, like I'm waiting on my driver's license. And I got $140 million in the bank. So it makes me think, what about all the people that got debanked for their political opinion? And that's what was happening. They were dealing with, they can't, people like, there's a time when you would have thought that I said the H word based off of me just wearing a red hat. Now you looking up and people like, wow, we really were making more money at that time. Wow, it's like the economy is messed up again. So people can see things clear as day. Like liberals, the Democrats don't even like Biden at this point. They're like, what are we gonna do? I know, because I used to be married to a Democrat, so that's claims she bipartisan, but 100% be doing dinners with Hillary. So it's all forms of these prisons. All these contracts are forms of prison. But let's get directly to these prison systems. And me and people are working on our potential. I don't say run. I say walk. Walk to the office in 24. My perspective is the Bible says, "Thou shalt not kill." In earlier times, there were Catholics who were into the death penalty, latter less into it. I'm learning more about Catholic. I'm just straight up Christian. I believe that Jesus did enough by dying for us. Catholics feel, we could add something to the table. It's how I think Chris Rock had a joke about that. That was like, okay, you made all the millions, and your girlfriend's like, man, but I brought this steak to this place. But that's something I go back and forth. Our Christian humor, we be going back and forth on whether you need acts or if him sending his only begotten son was enough for us to get to heaven. But that's just all like Christian humor. I'm a new Christian anyway. Apparently I don't know enough about God yet. I'm told this all the time. But the back to what we're saying on the death penalty. There's so many. I got a letter yesterday from a white gentleman, because apparently white lives, I guess, don't matter. But this is a white gentleman, because I said white lives matter, and all of a sudden I got 4 stadium shows canceled. I had what's the place where the Rams play? I was gonna make that my living room for like a couple nights, and they they how I do, because I put a bed in the middle, go to sleep, and people watch it. So so I was gonna make the stadium my living room for a little bit, and then I wore the White Lives Matter T-shirt, and apparently I didn't know. I didn't know white lives didn't matter. So I wore the T-shirt, and it's interesting because a white gentleman wrote a letter to me from prison, and just talking about how he was wrongfully accused, how he was living a normal life in college, and they got all of this evidence, and he's still locked up. So let's get to death penalty. Not only can people be wrongfully accused, with our judicial system, people could be wrongfully executed. So until we take the time to really, really check the DNA and put people with Christian values. Now, I'm tired of this moral compass conversation, because it'd be people that's like, hey, I'm a good person, and I'm in a different place. I'm in a different place. Me and God, we got a good relationship. That ain't no good relationship. You just don't want to listen to him. That's not a good relationship. Oh, I got a good relationship with God. No, you don't. You up here not trying to listen to God, right? And these are the kind of people that are setting our laws with the corrupt system, right? So then we're gonna have a death penalty. We got to remove certain things. Like, people will ask me, like, obviously, I'm pro-life, life period, life from pro-life on babies being born to no death penalty. But also, we can't immediately apply any kind of laws to abortion. And I know all my writers are going to be like, wait, what are you talking about? Until we present an alternative. because people who go to get these abortions feel that there's no alternative. It ain't like people don't just naturally not want to have their children. We are put into places where we never got our reparations. We're put in boxes, we're gerrymandered, and we don't feel like we have no other opportunities. So before I step into the monasteries and this thing that God has set on my heart, like it's Noah's Ark right here, we got to say in the judicial system, I got to learn a bit about the judicial system when I was getting debanked and sued and attempted to be bankrupt. You know, Ari Emanuel, he thought he had me, bro. You know, God must love me. And who could like lose $2 billion and still be worth 400 million? You know, I looked up. I was like, I know Forbes didn't want to have to write that. I know they wanted to write like a negative, and I was like, man. And I told y'all probably heard me say in other interviews. And what I know, I've given you bits and pieces the about my perspective on prison, how everything is a scope. I started at the third grade. Then I went to wrongfully incarcerated people. Then I went to how you could be wrongfully executed. So clear, we have a scope where we're going. Because you're probably like, yeah, how you going? The thing is, this is not a two-dimensional black and white existence that we're in. So to have to deliver messaging about full creations inside of sound bites is not fair to who we are as human beings. Only 30% of our language is verbal, and there's nothing whiter than English itself. It's literally English, right? So we're not even speaking in our native tongues on a platform that's not our native platform. So we're already still inside of some boxing rink, inside of some, and when we're in combat with each other, we're in some type of mandingo competition, beating each other down, not even on our platform. And when it's all said and done, we still don't own the block or own the platform or own the bank or own the distribution center or own the manufacturing. Like I built the first, um, sportswear manufacturing company since World War II in Cody to bring jobs back. And meanwhile, people are just going in, moving my equipment. They move the equipment to LA. They take my name off of it, put somebody else's name on it. So by the time I'm in a situation where I'm finally you know, out of the Adidas thing, I'm having to go start from scratch, go get EVA machines from scratch, go design the slide from scratch. And I'm happy about it, but boom, there goes another prison system. You get these collusions, you get these lawyers, right? When I was going through my divorce contracts, I had three. We're not going to say what hospital it is. We're not going to say who the lawyers are. We're not going to say what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know it is. But, and they, just picture like I got the green jacket on, right now. We're not gonna say who it is. So, and they was just looking over stuff. They like literally just gonna give them the custody of the kids to the, you know what I'm saying? Like we had to go line by line by line by line, and really understand what does it mean that the award goes to the practitioner, and what do all these things mean? I think we ain't never used the word practitioner in the studio. We ain't never used the word practitioner, on a basketball court. They never mentioned practitioners in Wakanda 2, where they killed all the dads and now the moms running, you know what I'm saying? Like just like they did in real life. Man, I mean, y'all couldn't just make Michael B. Jordan be Black Panther. Like you really had to. So, I go ahead, man.
No, got you. So I have another question for you. So, what are your thoughts on people blaming you being outspoken as mental illness?
I love when Lil Uzi told me, "Crazy ain't crazy than crazy," meaning we are in a crazy society. This is Game of Thrones. If you look at the situation we're in, the percentage of us going to prison, the percentage of us being aborted, the fact that they can like Adidas can come at me like that, and your friends, quote unquote, like Pusha T could stand right next to an Adidas sign right after they've done that. You get what I'm saying? Like, we're living in crazy environments. I could put up, hey, I don't have the address to my daughter's birthday, on her birthday, and not one of these celebrities speak up. These are crazy, right? And then, if you really look at the things that I'm talking about, a lot of people feel like me. So what's the crazy part? What I'm saying or the fact that I'm willing to say it?
No,
Hey,
I
yeah,
definitely appreciate
Fact
that.
is, well, I
hey,
guess we both crazy because I'm gonna say the shit.
Yeah,
hey,
and
if
I'm
I could,
crazy too.
yeah, if I could add one part to that,
Yay, that's Captain Tazariak, he's an Israelite.
appreciate
Oh,
it.
Salute, brother.
God bless.
Hey, God bless you too, brother. When I think that was a beautiful question, and what I wanted to ask you, do you think they intentionally misunderstand you, so then that everyone else will then also be able to begin to misunderstand you? So when you start doing things that are clearly intelligent thinking, people will already be predetermined to, okay, Kanye is just crazy, so we just gonna ignore him. Like, what do you think of that?
I gotta say, God bless Kyrie because he never had a MK Ultra Canadian intelligence trainer that was connected to multiple
I
celebrity
was crazy.
mental health and deaths, from Aaron Carter to old girl from Clueless. Um,
Her husband.
so what I'm saying is Kyrie showed you the energy of change that can happen just by two of us standing on something we believe in at one time. How many times it was only me at the telethon, only me at running on stage saying it's the best video, only me. You know what I'm saying? And this is the
Right.
first time he's like, man, I know y'all got Ye pegged this crazy, but look at this documentary right here, which mind you is still up on Amazon, and ain't nobody talk to old boy. Ain't nobody talk to Bezos or who the new CEO is on Amazon. So it's like we're starting to realize that was that one moment. And Kyrie, he really took that hit on not on my behalf, but on our behalf and on God's people's behalf, that you got to see what happened. Not that we was directed by Disney. And it's like, oh man, they came together on this thing I'm watching on HBO or Hulu or Disney. But in real life, that people would take a financial sacrifice for the truth, because the truth will set us free. Like, who is Phil Knight? Ain't nobody exploited nobody more than Phil Knight. Are you kidding me? The head of Nike? And it's so funny how God got a sense of humor for him, because he's now come and put money publicly towards the Republican Party, because the company he created is getting gang banged. And I maybe that's not that Christian to say it like that, but Phil Knight, your company is getting gangbanged. So go ahead and go on back to your house and walk 10 steps in front of your wife, like when I seen you in Palm Springs and you was walking 10 states. How you told going a walk with your wife and you 10 steps ahead? I was like, see, that's why I don't like Nike. If this is the person that's setting the what do they call it? The environment or whatever. It's another word for that I'm missing right now. But the environment at Nike, of course, ask anybody that's ever dealt with Nike. You know, they've treated people. They didn't treat people good. They were treating me really bad when I had the Red October, and that's part of the reason why I ended up going to Adidas. This is all related to Kyrie. This is where I'm going with it, but certain things just spark other things that I would like to tell y'all. I remember sitting in my mother-in-law's kitchen, and it was the same story that everybody got. My girlfriend pregnant. I'm from Chicago. I ain't want to leave Nike. I grew up in a city of Jordan. You ain't never seen somebody draw so many Jordans on a sketch pad and go and look at the shoes, and the Scottie Pippen flights the purple and black ones was behind plastic because they ain't want nobody touching them too much because they wanted to still sell them. We'd be going to Champ Sports. This is when like the shoes jumped over when Nike got that air bubble or that different kind of foam at the bottom, and they jumped past Avia, and K-Swiss and Reebok because they was neck and neck for a while. And then they jumped, and then they made those pumps. with David Robinson, they literally dropped the Maybach a shoe. They had the nerve to have a shoe for $180 back then. Now I know that's a normal price right now, but for a kid, shoes cost $60 back then. But I remember that effect that Nike had on me. It didn't matter that people could buy that David Robinson pump or not. It affected me that at the point when Nike was treating me like how Chase was treating me, like how Adidas was treating me, that I was willing to stay with Nike because of how much I loved it, because of the value that we place on brands due to propaganda and it's just mental manipulation. All the Edward Bernays advertising. Why did Nike swoosh mean something to you? Why we want to be like Mike instead of wanting to be like Christ? Why every half the numbers in the NBA is number 23? All of that is branding, mental branding. And then you get a brother like Kyrie, well-read information. And another thing, you take like Jalen Brown, you take Kyrie, you take a couple people, right, who they family is going to be all right no matter what. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple family members that might ask me for a loan here and there, but my family got jobs, right? So that means that I don't have to listen to nothing nobody got to say. If I want to get rid of all my money and go to like riding skateboards or driving an Uber for the rest of my life, I can do that. But you know what they go and do to the NBA players? They'll be like, well, what about grandma? What about your auntie? You don't want to go back. You don't want to be shamed. You don't, because they got a position. They're going to give you some type of job, some type of Shaquille O'Neal job for the rest of your life as long as you play the game. And with Kyrie, he got 1 year left. They question it like, will he even go, would he go play basketball again? And it's interesting to me. I know you got a question later about Candace Owens. Man, you got to understand, like in 1 week, I went in Trump, Alex Jones, and then Elon. Like in a matter of 10 days, right? Where's the lies? You know what I'm saying? So, because everybody's beholden to somebody, right? And I got to say, I'm proud of Trump that he actually spoke up. And Ari Emanuel put something out that showed that I had stretched the limits of the idea anti-Semitism. So listen to this thing that Trump put up, I think it was this morning, right? So he says, how quickly Jewish leaders forget that I was the best by far president for Israel. They should be ashamed of themselves. This lack of loyalty to their greatest friends and allies is why large numbers in Congress and so many others have stopped giving support to Israel. He could have never said that it changed in 1 week. It changed in 1 week. Because I went and I grabbed the third rail and I lived. I went as far as you can go. And I lived. Now let's open up the conversation and see that Jared Kushner was standing next to Trump the whole time, and Rahm Emanuel was standing next to Obama the whole time, and then Rahm Emanuel went to my hometown and destroyed that city. And what I liked is I was talking to a friend of mine that just took $30 million from Ari Emanuel. I'm sorry, he ain't got money like that, from an investment company that Ari Emanuel is associated with. And I heard they big mad. I heard he mad. I heard, hey, Ari, you mad? You mad? Oh, Ari, what you so mad about? Oh, because they keep on making you put them articles out because you at the lowest level of the power structure? Is that why you so mad, Ari Emanuel? Oh, what? Oh, how does the power structure run? Okay, we got China headed to be potentially, if it's not for Jesus Christ, the New World Order, the New America. But previous to that, we do have Christian-ran families, the Medici, 1,000-year-old families. They sit above the Vatican. The Vatican sits above the financial groups, BlackRock and Vanguard. Vanguard sits above Putin. Kim Jong-un, Biden, who's under all of them? Ari Emanuel, Hollywood. It is the first line of defense for the CIA for mind control. Come and get me.
So, my other question for you is, what do you mean when you
No,
say
you understand? I said, come and get me. What I just said is far past anything anybody in my position has ever said publicly. You understand that? So we just riding on God at this point. I ain't got no security. Y'all know exactly where I'm at.
that else that I haven't got on your side? I appreciate you.
He ain't lying about that. Drive me crazy.
Yeah. God got us because it's that time, because they seeing it, right? They're seeing it. And they doing it every time. I got this joke. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell it. It's very racist.
No. Not
What's that?
you.
Okay, I do the whole joke in a Chinese accent.
There you go. All right, let's go.
Okay,
Let's
watch
go.
this.
Let's go.
Come on, man. I know you're gonna say it's very wrong,
There
but
we
watch
go.
this. Okay. So when I wear the red hat, when Kim had the responsibility of watching me, they came to her and say, "Go get your nigga," and then Kim comes to me. The red hat, you got to take that off. You can't wear it to the White House. She said, "Look, my job is done. Mama, we out." You know what I'm saying? So then I go and I put White Lives Matter on a t-shirt. And they're like, "Well, we can't go. Oh, you know what? Let's go get celebrities. Let's go get Puff Daddy. Let's get Dave Chappelle. Let's go get Meek Mills." What made somebody think Meek Mills could say something to me? What made? No, this is the funniest thing of everything. Yo, man, I'm about to start crying, laughing, man. Somebody thought Meek Mills. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Meek's a
I'm not gonna
gangster.
get to my
Meek's a
joke.
gangster, gang. Meek is a gangster, man.
Somebody said, "Oh, Meek." No, I'm literally in tears. So, yo,
The world tour or your girls tour, right?
hold on. No, somebody's like, it's like Meek. Okay, hold on. Man, okay, that was not my joke, but somehow that part was really funny to me. Okay, so
100.
okay, so
100.
okay. Hold on. Oh, let me think of something really not funny for a second. Okay. When you having sex, you try to think about something really unrelated. Let me think of something really not funny. Because every time I think about that, I can't finish my story. Okay, somebody thought they could get me. Okay. Anyway, so they say, "Puff Daddy, go get your nigga," right? And then Puff calls me, with a wire on, right? And he's just like, "Yo, I'm gonna beat up anybody with the White Lives Matter shirt." And then so that's why I was like, "Yo, leave me alone, you fed, you working for Jewish people." So then it was like, went to Ari Emanuel, and they were like, "Yo, go get your nigga." And Ari like, "Bro, I don't really like, this man is like really just prep for war at all times." And I really, okay, all right, here I am. I'm Ari Emanuel. I want all the, businesses to not do business with my name, Ye, by the way. I want them to not do business with Ye, right? And then they freeze, they debank me. Adidas sues me for 200 75 million for marketing that we agreed upon. That was, I get into a longer story on that. And they freeze my accounts. They my royalty for the next 4 years was $500 million a year, $500 million cash, one more zero than Dave Chappelle for the next 4 years. That's what was in contract if I didn't do nothing. If I just Yeezys, foam runner slides, all that, And so within 1 week, that's the whole thing. Oh, he lost $2 billion in a day. Then I went on Alex Jones and I said, love everybody. I said, love everybody because they they, I ain't gonna say who it is, I ain't gonna say what doctor it is, I ain't gonna say what hospital it is, have been trying to make us love certain things, love the Grammys, love Nike, love killing each other, love opioids, love strip clubs, right? But it's like, no, you can't love this person. You can't love, no, you gotta hate this person. This is a demonic figure, and you gotta hate this. So me, I'm like maybe a little bit autistic. I think I'm more autistic than I am bipolar, right? I think that's incorrect. I don't think I'm bipolar, but I am like an autistic person, because you've seen by me being on stage with Drake last year, Kendrick say he got more growing to do. I can't help but love. I love Ari Emanuel. I can't help but love. I don't have nothing but love. So then I said, I love Hitler, meaning I love everyone. It's for God to judge. It's for us to love, and that's to be Christ-like. And then Ari Emanuel goes to his bosses in China and says, what am I going to do now? It's like, and they like, I don't know. We love Hitler too.
Oh yeah. I
You got to understand that that's how China has taken over, is they study his playbook. And so when what I'm dealing with my accounts, when they didn't clear the Donny Hathaway sample for me yesterday morning, and it was I'm not gonna say what kind of lay, I'm not gonna say what hospital it was, I'm not gonna say what it is, was in between me and the Donny Hathaway estate, thus being in between me and the audience, because I wanted to put my new music out. Now I can't do that due to the cancellation, right? That playbook is the communists following parts of the Nazi playbook. So really, I'm the one, and it's Jewish people that actually are helping me at this point, right? There's people who are literally hiding me under their wooden floorboard, because everyone's like, man, he gave an opinion, so this is a cautionary tale. Look at even Charlemagne, we be having our issues, and he had to say it out loud. He do it a bunch of times. He made Biden say what it really is out loud. We remember that. He made whoever that guy was on his show say what it really is out loud. We remember that. And he said, yo, but Ye said something, he lost everything. And everything meaning everything they gave us, because God gave me. I know, some people say, oh, got you, got it. Or like Drake said, Adidas has Kanye West, I think, right? And I'm like, ain't nobody had me since my mama. Don't nobody got me. Don't nobody had me, has me, none of that. So people take everything. And you can't take it away from me. It's too late. That energy, that soul, there's nothing they could do at this point. It's nothing we could do other than have a real conversation at this point. Because guess what? After all of that, we still ain't had the conversation about the contracts and what led me to the DEFCON treaty in the first place. That's the reality.
So I want to get into the next question.
Okay.
Go ahead. Who,
Go ahead.
Back? Oh, so no, okay. So you have mentioned that the sacrificing of Donda, and I kind of wanted you to elaborate on what did you mean by that.
This is just an idea of something that I saw, me seeing Michael Jordan's father taken away, Bill Cosby's son, my mom. I felt like these things happen to bring trauma and control to the Black voices, the blood of Christ, the original voice, the voices that are controlled by the media. Oh, this could happen. This could happen to you. This can happen again. This is what we're going to do. We're going to make this sacrifice. And, this is just, I saw a pattern. Sometimes people say, oh, well, yay, what you're saying, that sounds erratic. I'm a producer. I see pattern recognition. I'm listening to Otis in Paris, sitting at the table with Jay and Beyonce and Dream and stuff. Virgil's there. And I just hear the song and I got and boom, let me make that a pattern. That's one of my things of what gives me a neo ability to see the world in these black and green matrix screen ways is my pattern recognition. That's what makes me a Rain Man. And if Rain Man saw those three things add up, he say, okay, well, the fourth one's gonna be Tiger Woods, and then the fifth one's gonna be. You get what I'm saying? There's a pattern of that happening. So I think the word sacrifice is, and you know, I'm super Christian, but it sounds too. Nothing can never be too religious, but in this really secular media world, they use religion um, to sound. And people always gonna write things off as sounding crazy. So you know, guess what? It's up to people to believe the stuff I'm saying or not at this point. You know, pretty much is right every time. So, and I still have the ability to speak, and that's why I did this morning, because the last thing I need to do is stop expressing myself, because God put me in this position to express myself. So I'm saying my pattern recognition says that looks like there's sacrifices to major black celebrities in Hollywood.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Cap.
I appreciate it. I had a question, right? I've followed you like from your first album up until now. On your first album, you had songs like Spaceship, you had Jesus Walks. Even in your song The Last Call, which I still play when I work out, you said, I played Jesus Walks for me and they wouldn't sign me. And so now when you fast forward to 2022, you're extremely active with your belief. Is this something that you wanted to do back then, but you felt like maybe either the masses wasn't prepared for it or it would be held back, and now you feel like you're in a position to bring it forth? Because I'm a fellow believer in Christ as well. Like, what made that change come to where you push it the way that you push it?
You know, just, you know, Jesus will break you down. And I would like to not be one of them cliche Christians that only call on God on Easter or when they at their lowest moment. But, you know, it would feel like all those man-made possessions were taken away from me. And what I want to say when we talk about the accounts being frozen, that ain't got nothing to do with Jewish people. It has to do with the fact that I went on Drink Champs drinking and bragging about serving, not serving Christ. If I say, oh, I buy a girl a house, that ain't what Christ want me to say, and want me to say with the money that he provided. Because to get that to be worth $11 billion, that's God. And God had to sit me back and Job me and put me in that well for a bit until I told the world and used this position to say, Jesus is king. There is only one way. If you ain't talking about Jesus, you wrong, and you can't lead. You can't lead. Now you get some suggestions. You can work on this contract, but you can't lead. You can't lead until you follow. And until you follow the truth and the way, and that is Jesus Christ. And that's what I had to learn. And I go down there, you know, because I go into these places. I got a Napoleon. I got the short man complex. I got the Michael. I got the lawyer from Carlito's Way complex for sure. What are you talking about? I got pink polo next to Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? I still don't like the way Tata used to look at me in the studio. You know what I'm saying? It just never left my mind. But you know, somebody just give you a look like, what you doing here? Play a beat. But I gotta say, one thing is so funny. It's like nobody really had my back and supported me as much as Tata. Now he always gonna keep it real because this is one of the realest people. Like if anybody know Tata, this is one of the realest, most straightforward people. Like even Jay might keep it more politically correct, but Tata just gonna boom. He's just gonna say what it is, how it always is. But Tata got me on Jay-Z on the Blueprint too. I talked to him. I was like, man, Tata, you know, I got this chain and back in Chicago, man, I'm running around saying I'm on the rock, man. And if I don't rap on Jay-Z album, man, people, you know, they ain't gonna really believe in me as a rapper, man. And he went and got Jay to put me on Point Out the Bounce on a Timberland beat. And my rap wasn't even that good. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no Watch the Throne rap. But, you know, it's like he did that. Another thing is I always be talking about Jay Brown. I'll be having my issue with Jay Brown. We got this joke going back and forth where it's like he had this leather jacket and this leather jacket had wool, but it had leather sleeves. And it made me think of like them leggings that girls used to wear, where it's like gym in the back, but leather in the front. I'm like, is you going to the gym or you going to the club? Let's make a decision here, right? So Jay Brown had a jacket. I told him, yo, I want you to go on a flight. I want you to put it up in that compartment at the top, and I want you to leave it there. So, but and if you ever talk to Rihanna, talk to anybody, there's a whole email that I put like 12 people on where I'm just talking about his jacket for a long period of time, right? And he'll know exactly what jacket I'm talking about. And I hope he left it. Leave that in the lost and found and don't find it. All right, but what Jay Brown did is, when I had Stronger, and this is funny, this is like some proper music industry stuff. I had the sample, and he was working at Def Jam, and it was very important because it was so progressive, this idea. Mind you, I made Stronger because my fiance at that time liked Justin Timberlake a little bit too much. He's all, we bring in sexy bag. I'm like, man, you just dancing too. You all up in the mirror to that, huh? You bring a sexy back, huh? So we went and made Stronger, and I would play it, and she'd be looking like, because I was kind of like a backpack rapper, and she's like, yo, I don't know if people gonna understand it and get it. And I played the song. I remember the head Nicole from the Pussycat Dolls coming in and just like dancing, like it looked like she had the whole Pussycat Dolls with her, just to that. But then my boy Ice Pick, rest in peace, from Rough Riders, came in, and I played it for him, and he put his nose up. He said, the whole album gonna sound like that. And then I remember I was like, oh, I got to get this song to a place where it'll play on Hot 97. We know we're going to get the pop stations. This before, I was canceled the first of my 30th times of getting canceled. So we knew we was going to get the pop station back then, but we had to make it for the black station. I put the song out. It didn't bang in the club. We went and got Switch to work on it, Pharrell to work on it, and then Timbaland. We had to go to the person who made Sexy Back. He redid the drums. It took him 10 minutes to do it. And then for the next 2 hours, he just talked about, couldn't nobody do it but him. Can't nobody do this but me. You came to the right place. I'm the only person that could do this. Right here, I'm just sitting there, just listening to him. Like when Pusha T would have to listen to me talk for a long time. Or like how y'all have to listen to me talk for a long time right now. Thank y'all for being my therapy today. I've been going through a lot.
That's what's up.
But anyway, I want to say Jay Brown went, and there was someone who had the sample also. He went and bought the song to ensure that the first time you heard that was from me. So me and Jay Brown have our differences. Like he got a difference. Like he feel like it's okay to wear jackets with leather sleeves and wool bodies. We agree to disagree. But he has done a lot. This stuff is like funny to me. I'm one of these people that you can tell obviously likes the sound of their own voice. And by the sounds of being the top 5 streaming artists of all time without no album out, hundreds of millions of other people do too. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, somewhat of answer my question.
Okay.
Now, my next question.
Wait a second. He didn't sound energized on that though.
No,
I want you to give
no.
Get him, Yay.
that
Get him, Yay.
No. I wanted to do a follow.
Oh, shit, y'all.
I want to do a follow up, but I know Ion's going to ask a question.
No. Do the follow up because I want your energy level to be high.
Okay, so my follow up. So I follow like the Israelite belief, and so the reason why I asked you that question about your path is because I love that journey. I see you're switching, and then from watching the Drink Champs video, you made a statement to say that we're the Jews too. So like, where did that part come from? Was it something that you learned from like the Jewish people, or is this something that you learned from your own side? And where do you intend to take that part?
When I went on Alex Jones, it's interesting. He talked about this. It's so funny. You wouldn't expect Alex Jones to specifically back up that thought and that theory. I would read the Bible. I'm looking at the location of the Bible, and I wouldn't visit it Bougie Banton, and I'm getting different people's perspectives on Christ. I have my boy Mickey Halstead also shares these same beliefs, and my question is, why are we the only people that don't have a flag? Well,
That's heavy.
obviously, our existence was erased. Those slave ships was real, bro. You know, we we are the Jew, and they are Jewish, like that of a Jew.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, you wanted to hear that? I'm already canceled, right? So I can say stuff like that. I want to make sure because it was important. Even though we're not face to face, I heard in your voice that my that Timberland story that I tell all the damn time was not that funny to you. You was trying to get into some like you was trying to get into like a real conversation. We trying to line up in front of the stadium right now. And people, my thing is, you know what? There are truths to the relationship. Stereotypes exist for a reason. There are more Chinese computer engineers and Indian computer engineers than there are of other races. You know, there are more creatives in the entertainment field than of other races that are black. You know, certain stereotypes exist for a reason. That's why they're around. Like everyone's trying to like homogenize the new world order us and not have us look at the heritage of where things come from. Something that I heard in it, for Christians out there is that the Bible describes dinosaurs as dragons, because that's something in the indoctrination school known as Sierra Canyon that they do to make your kids come home and be like, well, Dad, well, you know, what's up with the dinosaurs? So we're saying the importance of history. Um, and if we know where we come from, we can know where we're going. And there's all these overlaps where history repeats itself. Like certain stuff where I go through dealing with Yeezy and Skims and all that, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm in a Gucci movie right now as we speak. Like even this thing, like, why was Corey Gamble sent into the Kardashian Jenner family? Mind you, Corey Gamble was Puff Daddy's Manny, I'm sorry, right? And then Corey Gamble was next to Justin Bieber when he was getting in trouble, right? And then soon as Bruce Jenner turned to Caitlyn Jenner, here go Corey Gamble. Why is that? Because if you see me and Kim and I'm doing a Yeezy fashion show and we got the most visibility of all time, then the richest man in the world would offer me a deal and then take the deal away from me and then hire my best friend and make him the head of Louis Vuitton, right? It was all to keep us at the Ari Emanuel entertainment level, because we stay on the path we're going, we get to Medici level. You go above Vatican. You go above Vanguard and BlackRock. But right now, Shorty got an investment firm that's half with, I'm not going to say what hospital is. You know, I'm not going to say what the doctor is.